Modernity is defined by our movement of space, dear Vincent.
Ah yes, my dear fellow, urbanisation. To travel from one's town to one's city is quite beautiful, for the architecture here before us seduces our eyes, is a technological advancement far beyond my wildest hopes and dreams.
But do not at all forget the profound importance of the World Wide Web. This breakthrough in technology has allowed us to move through information at such depth, I feel as though I must purchase yet another turtle, just so as I give myself enough time to thoroughly take it all in.
By golly, we're moving forward.
Anywhere but down, my good man, anywhere but down. Oh, so slow down, Vince. Why such a hurry? To slow down is a privilege within today's modern society. What was it that Walter Benjamin said? Oh, what was it?
A telescope equipped with unconsciousness?
Ah, yes, I do believe that is the direct quote indeed. Oh, no, that's not it. It's consciousness, you silly man. A kaleidoscope equipped with consciousness. Whoever would have thought a telescope could be unconscious? Quite ridiculous indeed.
Well, enough of that. Will this spot here suit for us, Daniel? The view is quite remarkable. May we sit down and feast in eternity?
I believe we must.
And now begins the game, dear Daniel. To be long maintained of recognising someone we know in every face.
Ah, yes, of course. Baudelaire knows how to play his games. But first, Vincent, I must inform you of the shocking conclusion I have just arrived at.
And what might this be?
Well, somewhere in a book.
Somewhere in a book?
Yes, quite right, somewhere in a book. I have read that Marx realised that by the expanding and internationalising the division of labour, we, as a society, would be introducing the realms of exploitation worldwide. And well, this clearly is evident within these buildings, these here surroundings, these people. Look at the growing divisions. Look at the economy. We can see it. And through it, we can see the underdeveloped worlds floundering in cheap labour.
Ah, there be but a brutal relationship between the systems of wealth and poverty. One could even suggest that it manifested itself in the military, not to mention the environmental and financial crisis that are so cleverly referred to as disaster capitalism. Yes, democracy, dictatorship, the Soviets, Bush's war and privatisation, it's all evident and clear.
Excuse me, what are you two young men drinking tea here in the city centre?
Why, of course, madam. Indeed we are. Would you care for some?
But why are you drinking tea here of all places?
Madam, there is not only one way of living in a city. Spaces collide and our views crash. We are flaneurs and we observe.
By golly, that rhymes. You're a poet and you didn't even know it.
Ah, indeed.
May we sit down with you?
Why, of course, madam.
Please indulge.
Milady, may I ask your thoughts on the accumulation of dispossession?
Well, all of these issues that you young men are discussing all share catastrophic conditions that invite emergency, making politically viable the introduction of new liberalism, reforms without decorations, backed by military oppression. Everybody knows that.
Gentlemen, may I ask who you are and what you're doing? And before you reply, yes, you may have to go.
My kind fellow, we are flaneurs, simply seducing our minds with these luxurious capitalist surroundings that contain you and I.
Indeed, we are not an everyman. We are men of leisure. We have the money to do as we please.
What the fuck is a flaneur?
Why, someone who uses the city in a way it wasn't designed for, of course.
Yes, somewhat aristocratic, not common, sublime in fact. We are the sublime in the pedestrian and we are here to drink tea.
And don't forget that we are telescopes equipped with unconsciousness.
Yes, that too.
Sorry, gentlemen. You'll have to vacate the premises. This is private property and now you are committing an offence.
Oh, sir, you mustn't do this. They are merely conversing, observing the atmosphere, soaking up its wonder whilst discussing the subjects of Marx and neoliberalism. Surely you must have an interest.
Well, since you ask, I know very little regarding the politics of such subjects. However, within an artistic context, both Steve McQueen, Byman and give expression and artistic critical understanding to the precarious organisations of life's mechanisms for survival as well as modes of resistance. Now you must remove yourselves immediately.
Wait, please do tell us more.
While fragmented territories are divided between legality and lawlessness, security and violence, and wealth and power. In 2009, Stilanovic's Nobody Wants to See exposes us to the fact that 3 of the richest men own as much money as the 600 million of the poorest. Now I'm sorry gentlemen, but I'm going to have to remove you. I can do this the easy way or the hard way. It's up to you.
Neither. We should not have wished to attract your gaze, nor endure your brutality.
Quite right. Under these circumstances, there is no question of loneliness. Let us make way, Daniel. We must be off. Let us wander. It's far too noisy for us here.
Madam, sir, good day.
We must move amongst the crowd, for he who loses himself in a stream of people shall discover within him the realization of knowing that a city is more than a city, and can be used as something more than just an environment of buildings.
What on earth are you babbling on about now?
Unitary urbanism, of course, to think of the city as more than a city. Are you not familiar with the Situationists?
They crossed the streams of my consciousness once or twice, but they didn't stop to say hello.
Well, the Situationists had a policy of freedom, of fun.
Less work, more play.
Indeed, they had 4 key points that when explored allow us to understand this world far more clearly.
Well, sir, do inform me of their methods. Whatever are they?
The derive.
The what?
The derive, a tool for psychogeography.
By golly, these French avant-garde bastards do focus on such unexpected and bizarre concepts. The derive, you say, and so, go on.
It is beauty, it is initiative, and it is forever wandering.
Whatever do you mean?
Not going from A to B, of course, looking through corners, foraging through the wilderness of the illogical. To be aware, Daniel, to be aware that you don't need a 3 and a 2 to make a 5. There are other ways, unknown roads. Look around you, let your body sink, take in every attraction, engage with every obstacle, forget not one face. This is the present, and we must look at it now, not through memory.
Oh my. Do you think these situation fellows were flaneurs? They'd make fabulous dandies. Do go on, dear chap, continue.
Well, once you have that understood, we can begin to explore psychogeography.
It doesn't involve me taking drugs, does it? I know Baudelaire had his moment with the marijuana, but I will not stand for it. I shall drink tea and eat coins. Chocolate coins. Let that be the end of any drugs.
Hashish.
I beg your pardon?
It was hashish, not marijuana. Anyway, relax, dear Daniel. Psychogeography is simply an expanded study of environments that are not consciously organised on the emotions and behaviour of individuals.
Are you intending to give me a brainache?
Oh, don't worry, dear Daniel. When I was first informed of psychogeography in a lecture, it went straight over my head too. Anyway, moving on to the next point.
Wait! Here looks like the perfect location for our eyes to feast on. A feast of views. Will you care for some tea?
Why, yes, my good fellow. You are right in every sense. This is perfect.
Oh, but I do feel so alone in comparison to everybody else. I feel isolated. Just look at all these people, all absorbed within their own little worlds, moving from place to place. My dear Vincent, don't you feel the same?
Why, of course, Daniel. We all feel isolated. Even these people that you speak of and can see around you. But isolation can become a tool for experiencing this so-called modern life. This is what we, as flaneurs, do. I am both apart from modernity. But my eyes are forever feasting at the table of aesthetic contemplation, and so I dare not complain. My eyes simply wouldn't stand for it.
Look at how different people are inside here. It's uncanny. Why, one could measure the distances that separate these 2 regions of the same city. Curious, curious.
And there, my dear fellow, you are thinking psychogeographically.
Oh, I do believe I am. But I care not for such critical thinking at this moment. Didn't you say there was 4 points from the situation, men?
Ah, yes, the last. Detournement.
Detournement?
Why, yes, to recycle, to reuse, the art of appropriation.
But how does that benefit us on our journey to becoming flaneurs? And might I add how excellent we are at being them so far. Just look at these people, looking at us. admiring, "Oh, Vincent, is my hat on straight? What about my shoes? Do I look good? I think I do." I would only like to be admired and received kindly by these people.
Ah, there is a certain benevolence in such expectations. But please, do not steer away from my point. Allow me to inform you of the benefits. And please, there are situationists, not situation men. Anyway, do you recall what the security fellow spoke of? The art of the Queen, etc.?
Vaguely, yes.
Well, this is...
Gentlemen, you must go.
But...
No, you must go now.
We are flaneurs, we are men of leisure. We are the sublime pedestrian...
No, you're not. Please vacate the premises.
Very well. Let us leave, Daniel. Oh, our flaneuring doesn't seem to be going well, Daniel. I'm beginning to doubt that we will ever be able to match the qualities of Baudelaire and Poe.
Now, Vincent, to recite Walter Benjamin, it is likely that no one ever masters anything in which he has not known impotence. And right now, we are impotent.
Speak for yourself.
But this struggle did not begin at the beginning, nor manifest itself beforehand. The struggle lies at the heart. Come, let us wonder. I see the Queenie yonder.
Oh, I feel like poor Tom Rakewell, cast off into Bedlam only to be ridiculed by public eyes, and simply for having dreams.
Ah yes, I too can sympathise, my dear boy. But we will not burn in the fires of self-pity. Come now. We have no destination. Let us start going there.